So I have been rebuilding all of my routines, from my financial routine to my workout routine, my morning routine, how I'm working, meal prep, and so on. And so today I'm going to go through all of my routines and show you exactly what I'm doing and how I'm rebuilding them. Let's get into it. We simply can't hold everything in our brains. Well, I certainly can't. I forget important dates, when work is due, plans I had to climb with friends, and honestly, whenever I'm busy with multiple projects, if I don't write everything down, then it simply doesn't get done or gets forgotten about. And this applies to pretty much everything in my life, whether it's hobbies, knitting projects I'm working on, learning guitar, French, researching for video essays, and plans I have with friends, so everything. And it also matters where I write these things down. No digital calendars for me because I even forget to look at them. And I'm all about reducing friction. So I have to have a notebook and a calendar book that sits open on my desk at the page for the day I'm working on or the next one, and the month overview that I'm currently in. I sit at my desk every day to edit or research or reply to emails, so it's the perfect spot to remind me of everything that needs doing. I also have to set up reminders for people's birthdays, appointments I have, and reminders to make appointments I want to keep up with. So I'm currently building a weekly routine of writing out what the next week looks like for me, noting down any appointments, any plans, which days I've dedicated to which topic for my personal curriculum, which days are filming days, which are editing days, and which are mornings for research. I also note down important days for uploading onto which platforms and what workouts I'm doing. So I like to keep my morning routine very, very, very simple and almost tiny. So I have make the bed, get dressed, water, coffee, move, plan. That's it. And I kind of stack things around each other. So I've been quite bad recently because I've been trying to create a lot more content of getting up and then basically immediately going to my desk and start editing a video without doing anything else. So this new routine is super tiny. It's just the things that are very important to me. And I'm just putting them in a short stack that I can kind of see on my desk to remind me that I shouldn't just sit down, I should get dressed. This gets me in a good mindset of starting the day. Have a glass of water because I'm still chronically dehydrated. I used to put electrolytes in my water every morning to encourage me to drink and help me with being dehydrated, but I just don't want to buy them anymore. So then I move. I just put move because it doesn't matter what it is to me. That's what's flexible. The fact that I have to move is strict, but what that movement is very flexible. So this morning I just went for a walk because I know that I'm going to climb later with one of my friends. But tomorrow, for example, that movement will be going to the gym. And I tend to have my coffee depending on what the movement is. So going for a walk, I decide to have my coffee afterwards. But if I go to the gym, then I usually have my coffee before. But because I'm having my coffee afterwards, I can drink my coffee whilst I make my plan. And I'm gonna make a plan for the day, and then I will probably add a few extra things on for the rest of the week that need to get done. I haven't put breakfast on my morning routine because I don't want to force myself to eat if I'm not hungry. If I am hungry, I want to make sure that there is some stuff in the fridge or there is some stuff conveniently available. I do want to be eating breakfast in the morning, otherwise it does impact my energy throughout the day and obviously what I eat later and things like that. I have meal prepped some overnight oats. These are something that I find so much, it's just so much easier to have breakfast when there is something in the fridge. So instead of putting it on my kind of morning routine list as something that I have to do, I just kind of follow how I feel. If I'm really busy in the morning, but I know that I'm starting to feel hungry, but usually I would put it off if I just don't have time to make something, I will try and ensure in a different routine, like my weekly meal prep, that I do meal prep at least a few breakfasts for the week. Because then if I'm not feeling it that day, I don't have to have breakfast. But if I am really hungry and I'm busy and I know that it's going to affect my energy that day, I will make sure that there is something in the fridge that I can eat. Well, I say that this is a new routine that I am building because I have not been doing this. This is also why I try and have lots of bananas and apples in the fruit bowl, because that's a kind of perfect snack that you can just pick up immediately and is very convenient. But we are working on the whole breakfast thing. Okay, I've had the rosemary oil in my hair for a few hours now, just while I've been getting work done. I do try to do this every time I wash my hair, but I am motivated by the fact that I'm trying to regrow my hair in these two spots, which I will show you a before and after when my hair dries today of what it looked like 2 months ago and what it looks like now. So I'm going to wash my hair now and then just show you what I do afterwards. So that's all I put on my hair. I used to put a gel on my hair, but now I don't because I felt like the gel would weigh my hair down and it would make my hair look stringy, and then it would make me not want to wear my hair curly. I have to be particularly careful in Denver because it is so dry here and my hair really needs a lot of moisture to look good. So I've stopped using gel. I only use a curl building serum. It's kind of like a curl cream. And then on maybe day 3, I will just spritz it with some normal water, nothing special in here. And then I'll use a leave-in conditioner. I've done a lot of research on how to maintain the ends of my hair to keep them nice and healthy. And the hairdresser that I previously went to also said, curly hair, especially in a dry climate, you just need to be adding moisture as much as possible. So I'll add water, make it wet, and then I'll add in some leave-in conditioner. The only other thing I use is a hair oil, and I put this on every day because my hair really soaks it up. It will look a bit greasy at first, but then honestly after 10 minutes it's as if I hadn't put oil in. And I think the oil is supposed to lock in the moisture rather than moisturize your hair, but that's important for me. And as I said, I've done a lot of research on how to, 1, make my scalp healthier, and 2, hopefully make the strands of my hair thicker so that they're less likely to fall out and they're just healthier, and also how to maintain the length of my hair and keep that nice and healthy so I don't have to get my hair cut as often. Although to be fair, I never get my hair cut, so I want it to be nice and healthy and nice and long. And also because I dyed my hair and I'm growing it out, I want to expedite that process. You can't make your hair grow faster, but I think that I had stunted the growth of my hair by the stuff that I was doing to it. So I'm just trying to get it back to what its natural growing length is. And that's pretty much it. I also haven't been using heat on my hair. The last time I did was in early July, but I'm in 2 minds about that. I did it to give my hair a rest and to make it healthy again, but I've heard from a lot of people and online that actually if your hair is wet, it's in its most fragile state, so blow drying it is actually a good thing. It's very hard to know what information is the best information, so I kind of do a split between, if I'm inside, I'll allow my hair to dry naturally, but if I'm gonna go out, then I'll try and blow dry my hair before I go out, just to make sure that, you know, the wind and the sun and stuff are not adding to the breakage and stuff like that in my hair. I am just heading to the gym and I've been creating a new workout routine, and it's been really hard because a lot of the ways that I've been making friends in Denver is climbing with people, and I want to prioritize climbing with people when they're free. So I've kind of had to be quite flexible with my workout routine, but there are also plenty of things that I really want to make sure that I am getting in. I actually did some squats the other day for the first time in quite a long time, and I had DOMS for like 3 days afterwards. If you don't know what DOMS are, it's just literally delayed muscle fatigue, and when I tell you sitting down and standing up was the most painful thing ever, that was the sign that I needed to get back to regularly weightlifting, because I was doing it regularly 4 to 5 times a week, probably for 10 years. And yeah, this year really messed up all of my routines, which is why I'm just trying to get back into them nice and slowly, be quite strict about specific things, and workouts are one thing that has always made my mental health so much better. And also just like living, you know, walking upstairs, carrying things to and from the car, being able to carry all my grocery shopping in, makes a big difference, especially how I feel when I get up in the morning. So I'm heading to the gym now. I might do some squats, I might do some deadlifts, who knows. But when I get back, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna do some proper planning and try to at least sketch out a flexible workout routine that I can somewhat follow. We're starting very realistic with the workout routine. So I'm just gonna put in for the days of the week which ones are kind of already in there and ones that I already don't have to think about because they are just part of my routine anyway. Okay, so Tuesday I'm gonna do leg day because that's a day that I never climb with people at all. Wednesday I always rope climb with people, so I'm gonna put that in. This week I'm also rope climbing with someone on Thursday, so I'm gonna put that in. And I'm gonna do this week by week so I can see if there are any patterns emerging. People definitely tend to be free on sort of like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Those are days I typically climb with people, so I'm trying to arrange the other stuff that I do around that. I just feel like there is not enough time in the week. Friday I'm gonna put leg day because we want to have another leg day, and then on Saturday I'm gonna go for a hike because I have Saturday to myself and I want to get in some cardio so that my heart feels very good and I feel more athletic. So this week I have 2 leg days, 2 rope days and 1 hike, and then I have Sunday as my rest day. The good thing about rope climbing is for me it's very arm, upper body, finger heavy and kind of cardio heavy, but then I still feel very fresh the next day to leg day, which is great. So I guess Sunday will be my day off, and then next week Monday will be ropes, Tuesday will be legs, Wednesday will be ropes, and then I'll keep Thursday open. I would prefer to do my leg day on Thursday so I can do ropes again on Friday, but we shall see. So that's how I'm planning on kind of like looking at my workout routine going forward, just being flexible with it, but trying to get in at least 2 rope climbs a week and 2 leg days a week. Those are my top priorities right now. I don't put in any upper body days because I feel like rope climbing and climbing is enough. I could do some extra stuff, but right now, all I care about is just getting my body moving and being a little bit more consistent with it. Building muscle back up, especially in my legs, is very important to me. I've lost a lot of muscle from being very inconsistent for the last year, and I don't like that feeling. So that's the kind of vibe I'm going for with the workouts so far. Oh, and on the weekend, I'm going to try and do at least 1 hike, and once the snow comes in and it's too snowy, I will try and hike still, but if not, I'll just do some cardio in the gym. Again, got to keep that heart healthy. I've decided to partner with Function Health for this portion of today's video as part of my continued practical self-care, because for my health journey going forward, I want to get some blood tests done to see if there's anything I'm deficient in, and I'm particularly interested in getting some female health checks done in relation to my fertility. I think it's really important for me to get a better understanding of where my hormones are at and whether I am actually able to have kids, because obviously that will play a big role in what we decide for our future. And I've actually just booked my first blood tests, which are in a couple of weeks because they need to be on day 2, 3 or 4 of my period. And through these blood tests with Function, they're going to test for over 100 biomarkers, from heart to hormones to toxins and to stress. I have a lot of cancer in my family, and obviously I'm vegan, so I just want to better understand what's going on in here and how I can best support my health now and in the future. Booking tests were really easy and straightforward, and they have lots of additional tests in case there are other concerns that you're having about your health. I chose to work with Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data that most people never see and the insights to actually take action. I'm an avoider when it comes to healthcare, so I am a little nervous to get my tests done, but having access to these insights and data about my health is going to help me to make some really big decisions. So once I get my results, I'll be sure to share them with you if you are interested, of course. And if you're interested in checking out Function yourself, you can get $100 credit just using my link in the description below. As soon as I booked an appointment, I will always write it down in my calendar, and I'll create a little reminder for myself in my phone as well. Okay, the next routine I want to talk about is my financial routine, because I do the same thing every single month, and I have been doing that for at least 2 years now. It has definitely changed a little bit more recently because our financial goals have changed, but my routine has remained quite similar. And this means every single month, when we're getting towards the end of the month, we have to pay for our credit card bill, and we have to pay our rent and all of our bills like that. We have a spreadsheet that we basically input everything that we spend, and we try and spend absolutely everything on our credit card, so everything's coming out of one place, and it makes it easier to have several columns. We have 3 columns, one that's for our joint spending, one that's for my husband's spending, and then one that's for my spending. And then we have a separate sheet, we have a column each with how much money we have coming in, our rent, our bills, our credit card share, and then our joint savings, and then our individual savings and things like that, so we can kind of feed that information in. And I'm trying to get better at updating our spreadsheet every single week, so it gives me a better indication of how much money I have left for the month, how much I've spent, how much I have that I could possibly save. Because even though I try to pay myself first, it still all depends on how much money I spend on my credit card bill for that next month. So our financial goals have changed because we're trying to build up a joint emergency fund, and we've almost reached our goal. And once we have reached our goal, the next thing is to basically really aggressively save to buy a house. And so this financial routine is more important than ever because it helps to keep us on track, it helps to keep us motivated, it helps us to understand where our money is going and how to budget kind of effectively. And we also have a running column of how much money we spent over the last 6 months, 7 months, 8 months in another column in our spreadsheet that shows us how much money we spent this month on groceries, and then we can look to last month and see how much we spent in total in that month and see kind of month to month how we're doing and if we're doing better. Being able to have a better overview of our budget and see where we can allocate different pots of money. So earlier in the year I said that I had a few different sort of savings funds where I would put stuff for a personal emergency fund, a joint emergency fund, for holidays, for travel, basically to go visit my family or his family, and then another one for car savings. The past couple of months I haven't had that much work, so I've basically been doing a lot of work this September to kind of make up for the previous few months. So last month I didn't have any income. So I basically took that money from my savings and used that to pay for my share of the bills. So my savings have been looking a little bit differently. And also I paid a lawyer for my green card application for the renewal of it. So that was a big hit to our savings. So there have been a lot of kind of things that have come our way that I've been very thankful that we've had an emergency fund for, and I've had a personal emergency fund for. But now, because our goals are very much aligned in wanting to buy a house, all of my financial goals have changed for now, because that is the kind of main thing, and we find it much easier to focus on one thing at a time. So once our emergency fund is at the goal that we want it to be, then we're going to start really aggressively saving for the house, and at the beginning of the month we're trying to allocate a specific amount of money to go towards saving for a house, and then if we get to the end of the month and we have more left over, that's just going to go into the house as well. I'm not putting any money aside for travel and holidays right now, but I am going to start putting money aside for car savings again, because I've now started earning money again, so I'm able to contribute to all of those things pretty well. But also this year my husband changed our car insurance to a different company, and we're able to save us like almost $300 each. So that has been a really big savings, so that it takes kind of the pressure off with saving each month for the car insurance, and it just frees up a little bit extra money that I can put towards saving for the house and our emergency fund currently. We still have separate savings accounts for other things, and we have separate investments for retirement and stuff like that, but because our shared goal is buying a house, we're trying to put all of our money together for that specific goal for now. My goals also for retirement and investing have changed because the idea of changing careers and how difficult that has been has kind of like thrown up a lot of different things to think about. I'm going to go into that in a lot more detail in October, because I'm doing a no by October. That's kind of like kicking off the start of this very aggressive savings phase for our goals. So I'll talk more about that in October if you are interested. I want to talk a little bit about my meal prep routine or food prep routine, because I do make a lot of videos about food prep and meal prep, which makes it seem like I probably do have a routine, but I honestly don't. The days that I do it on are different. I never have a specific day or morning or afternoon that I do it. I do try to do it at the weekends where I have more time, but I also will sometimes do it on a Monday afternoon or a Tuesday morning. It honestly depends on when I can be bothered to do it. So I would like to be a little bit more routine about it, just so that I can plan for the week ahead. Kind of earlier, like what I was talking about with breakfast, if it's just kind of making a few breakfasts to have in the fridge, or making things like bagels that I can have in the freezer or in the cupboard, things like that. Just being a little bit more prepared with my meal prep routine would be something that I think would set me up really well for the next week. I probably meal prep or food prep every other week, every 2 weeks, maybe even every 3 weeks. A lot of the time I will have very much a whatever's available, something that's convenient, or out of the blue I'll just meal prep one meal for the next 10 meals or something like that. So there's no routine to it, and I would like to get it a little bit more routine. I'm not going to be particularly strict about it, but I think I could set myself up really well for having just a few things in the fridge that kind of take away some of the time spent during the day making food, or simply just skipping breakfast altogether because there's nothing available and I just can't be bothered. If you have a good routine for your meal prep, please let me know what it is, because just because I meal prep a lot, it doesn't mean that I have it down. It doesn't mean that I have the perfect situation and the perfect routine. I'm still learning a lot of things, and I would always like to make my life a little bit easier if I can. So meal prep is something that I'm definitely learning to make a bit more convenient and trying to be a bit more consistent with it, because when I do meal prep, it really is incredibly helpful and so convenient, and it helps me to reach all of my goals of eating enough protein, getting enough fiber, and all that kind of stuff. In the next video, I'm going to be preparing for autumn, and so I'm going to go over my skincare routine in that video. But I also have another dedicated personal curriculum video coming up, which is going to go into detail about all my hobbies and all the things I'm trying to learn this autumn. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please check out my other ones and give the video a like if you did like it, and consider subscribing so that you never miss another video. Okay, I'll see you very, very soon for the next one. Bye.